How's everybody's brain today? It'll be better after class. Actually, yoga, and you can see it's amazing because the physical aspect of yoga, it does a couple of things. Depending on the postures that we do, of course, we're directing more blood supply to the whole head region. Also, too, just calming down our nervous systems has a great impact on our ability to actually think clearly. And, you know, in life when there's a crisis, if we can find our center of calm, it'll be a lot easier for us to navigate, negotiate, sometimes just wait. Because I truly believe each and every one of us harbors every single bit of information, knowledge, and inspiration that we need. It's already inside of us. We just have to create the space and be patient. So basically, a calm mind works better than an agitated mind. And I think I said it in my notes. And I don't know how somebody thinks about it, and it's almost incredible to imagine that each one of us is having somewhere between 50 to 75,000 thoughts a day. Now, it can be as low as 6,000 because, let's face it, not all of us are blessed with an active mental capacity. But let's just say, if it's true, we're having 50,000 thoughts a day, and that 75% of them are negative, or as my yoga teacher used to say, counterproductive, and repetitive. Is it any wonder that some of us have trouble sleeping at night, or that we have poor digestion, or that we're just feeling a little bit unsettled on a regular basis? So, all to say that yoga offers us one of the greatest tools to manage and just move through our lives in a way that feels peaceful and cohesive and connected. You know, we've heard a lot of these words in the last few weeks. Words are great, but actions speak louder than words. And I think we're all capable of perhaps even taking some of the things that we don't appreciate in the world and maybe bringing them back to our own awareness to see where we're feeding into that energy of disconnectedness with ourselves or with somebody else. And yeah, so, you know, we're going to have more of a yin practice. And obviously the yin yang notions come out of the Chinese philosophy. But just to say that all things exist, that they're inseparable. It's all connected, you know, and you can't have light without dark. And you can't have young without old, and you can't have warm without cold. So, you know, everything that's going on is truly an opportunity for us to really witness the connection and to see what's going on. Now, moving into the colder months, we will be more yin. We're not going to be as active, so it makes sense. But having said that, we want to balance non-activity with activity. So basically, in this practice today, yin applies a moderate amount of stress to our joints, to our connective tissue. So that would be tendons, ligaments, fascia. This is all part of our connective tissue. And I also want to say that within our connective tissue is an aspect of proper immunity. And Megan, you're going to need a mat, right? So if you go back behind that door there, choose one. There are lots. And just so you know, if anybody ever forgets one, I do have extra mats. So that's what we're going to work on today. And we're also going to, you know, direct some blood supply towards the head region. And basically, you know, as I also said, if you think of lifting weights as building stronger muscles, more defined muscles, then we can think of yoga as developing new connections and changing our brain structure so that we have a stronger, more resilient mind. Now that sounds good to me anyway. Okay, so let's begin on our backs. And we are going to just bring the soles of our feet together and let our knees splay out. Now, if you feel any pressure on your knees when you're in supine Baddha Konasana, support your knees with either a firm cushion or a block. But if you're able to just let, with the soles of your feet connecting in like a prayer position, and allow your knees and thighs to just open up. Let's lift up at the heart center and tuck the shoulder blades under our hearts and tilt your chin towards the center of your chest. Allow your palms to face up in the open and receiving position. This allows your shoulders to be supported by the mat, by the floor, and let the weight of gravity have its way with you. And remember the importance of the breath to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. This is no small thing. The parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest, it is the system that heals, restores, and balances both body and mind. When the body is at peace, it's easier for the mind to be at peace, and vice versa, especially when the mind is peaceful, because there are yogis, and my teacher was one of them, who said, and he taught for 54 years, about 11 or 12 classes a week. That's no small thing. That's a major achievement. He retired about, 6 or 7 years ago. But if we would believe that all disease, and I like to think of disease as a lack of ease, begins between the ears, begins in the mind, and even medical doctors talk about stress being the genesis of perhaps 75% of dis-ease. And remember, eating a good diet or not eating a good diet can be stressful to your body. And then draw the knees together and draw the knees up into your chest and place one hand on each shin just below the knee and do some gentle rocking, perhaps small circles. So if somebody calls you fathead, just say thank you very much. I do eat a good amount of fat in my diet. In fact, the head, the brain region, requires about 60%, or is made up of 60% fat. So fathead's not a joke, it's actually a reality. 20 to 25% of our diet should be fats, but they should be good fats. All right, extend your left leg down in front. Keep your right knee bent. We're going to move into Supta Matsyendrasana. So you're going to place your left hand on the outside of your right knee and draw it across your body over to the left side. If it's comfortable, extend your right arm out to the right side. So most of us know what good fats are. Fatty fishes include salmon, sardines, mackerel. Avocado really comes under the category of a superfood. walnuts, leafy green vegetables, olives. These are some of your healthier fats. And by the way, if you get a chance ever to acquire sea buckthorn berries or sea buckthorn juice, and I can't tell you anywhere around here where you can get it, but I know up in southwestern Ontario, in Huron County, in Teeswater to be specific, not far from Wingham, a friend of mine has a sea buckthorn farm, and you just may want to make a note that next August, when she has opens up her farm for picking, you can pick the berries. And the reason I'm telling you this is because, let's come back to center for a moment. Draw that right knee into your chest. Draw the left knee up into your chest. Extend your right leg down in front. And then with your right hand on the outside of your left knee, draw it across your body and extend your left arm out to the left side. There is no food that contains as much vitamin C as a sea buckthorn berry. They're golden in color, but they also contain a healthy amount of fats, healthy fats. So she also carries skincare products. They can be ordered online. And you can put it on your skin. And of course, if we lack in fat, our skin dries out. Speaking of vitamin C and vitamin A, which is also included in sea buckthorn berries, it is now time to be taking vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin. You can buy it in liquid or tablet form. Liquid form in vitamins, and I take mostly the liquid form in essential fatty acids. I didn't even mention that, and I should have. That is my #1 supplement and has been for probably close to 2 decades. Essential fatty acids, omega-3, which of course is what we find in those fatty foods that I just mentioned. So as I said, holding postures creates a moderate tension or stress, but a positive one, on our connective tissues, which include your ligaments, tendons, and fascia. And what this does is it helps to maintain mobility in our joints. Muscles are great, but joints obviously are key for our mobility and our flexibility. Flexibility being the first thing we lose as we age unless we practice a physical culture such as yoga. And then inhale, coming back onto your backs, draw that left knee in and draw your right knee in. And now keep your knees a little bit wider than your torso. And just to balance some of our stretching here and moving our joints, let's take happy baby pose. Bring your arms inside of your legs. Try to grab your insteps. If you can't get your insteps, take hold of your ankles. And then attempt to bring your ankles directly above your knees. So you may eventually be able to work your way up towards your insteps, but take your ankles so you have your knees just outside of your rib cage. Your feet are about 2 or perhaps 2.5 feet apart. This does stretch your hamstrings, but it's a nice, safe stretch. But obviously, we're also flexing at our ankle joints, bending at the knee, and of course, a great stretch for those big, sturdy hip joints. AKA our junk drawers, where we stash stuff that we don't have time to deal with or don't want to deal with. Nice deep inhaling and deep exhaling. Practicing yoga mindfully encourages us to be more mindful throughout our day. Being mindful reminds us to pick up our feet, not shuffle them when we're walking. It has us being more aware when we're reaching for things, bending, twisting. And it's just a nice idea to slow things down. Last week we talked about digestion. I don't know how many of you attempted to practice eating mindfully without any distractions. It's not easy because we're so busy and we need to read something or look at our devices when we're eating. But eating is such a pleasure, and we're cheating ourselves out of that pleasure when we eat without mindfulness. And releasing. Now keep your knees bent, but place the soles of your feet flat on the floor. Bring your arms beside your body with your palms facing down. Once again, let's lift up at the heart center, tuck your shoulder blades under, reach your fingertips towards your heels. Please tilt your chin towards the center of your chest. We're going to come into bridge pose. So this is a gentle way of reversing gravity to get more blood supply towards the head and neck region. Press the small of your back into the floor. Just spend a moment here. Feel your core activating. So feel your abdominals, even the muscles between your ribs, your intercostal muscles, they're getting involved. And then peeling your spine off the floor, tilting your tailbone up. Peel your spine off the floor. Keep your chin tucked in towards the notch of your neck, lifting your hips, activating your thighs. And again, we're going to hold. So yin is feminine. Yin is dark. It's black. It's cold. It's water. Yin activates and stimulates spirit, whereas yang activates and stimulates the solid aspects in life. So a mountain is yang, light is yang, white is yang, masculine is yang. We all have aspects, no matter what sex we're born. Of course, women are more feminine, men are more masculine, but we both will share aspects of both yin and yang. Interconnectedness. Always be sure you're breathing fully, completely, deeply exhaling. We've all been waiting for the other shoe to drop. It dropped. So we can all let go now. We can all exhale. Practice more love, connectedness, openness, and hopefulness. One more breath in, starting from the top of your spine, slowly releasing all the way back down. Take your arms out to the side, shoulder height. Draw both knees up in towards your chest. Again, let's press the small of the back into the floor. This activates your core because we're going to do our twists. Once again, your knees are together, your feet and your inner thighs all touching one another. Inhale in place, exhale, drop both knees together over to the left, and if you like, turn your head to the right. Palms can be turned up or down, whatever feels most comfortable. Try to keep your right shoulder as close to the ground as possible. Keep your knees together as much as possible, and breathe. Inhaling, come back to center. Take a moment here, pressing the small of your back into the floor. Inhale in place, exhale, both knees over to the right. If it feels okay, head to the left. And inhale, bring your knees back into the center. Keeping your feet flat on the floor, bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. Press your right knee away from you with your right hand. Be sure you're always breathing when we're expanding. And then on an exhale, draw your left knee towards you. You can interlock your fingers behind the back of your left knee. If it's available to you, bring your hands around the front of your left shin. Now, that's only if you can keep your shoulder blades and your head on the mat. So hands are either interlocked behind your left knee or in front of that left knee. Your right ankle is on top of your left knee. We are practicing supine pigeon pose. Getting into your hips, a calmer practice for a calmer mind, a calmer body. We will get into a few inversions to redirect blood supply to the head region, but your parasympathetic nervous system is one of your greatest friends, along with inversions, as Mr. Iyengar said. Inversions were our best friends. So breathe into that right hip. Now, it may just be a thought or an idea, but if you have any more room to stretch through that right hip, consider pointing your tailbone towards the floor. Remember, we don't want to do too much. We never tighten the strings of a guitar or a violin too tight, they snap. Our bodies are the same. 90% is great. Positive stress, called eustress, E-U, stress, how it's spelled, helps the body become more resilient, stay flexible, youthful, supple, agile. Always use your breath to create space and to exhale stress. Whether it's emotional, mental, physical, even existential. Couple of more breaths here. So if you want to intensify again, imagine lifting the small of your back off the floor. Just the idea of it sometimes intensifies activation in the hip joint. And that will do. Cross that top leg completely over the bottom leg. Take your arms out to the side and drop both knees over to the left. Dropping both knees over to the left. It's a nice little stretch, allowing fresh arterial blood back into this hip joint area. And remember, blood transports oxygen. Every single cell in your body needs it, as well as nutrients. Inhaling back to center, uncross your legs. Let's place the left ankle on top of the right knee. With your left hand, push the left knee away from you. Good deep inhaling and deep exhaling. And then bring that right knee towards you. Once again, you can start by interlocking your fingers around the back of that right thigh. And just see how that feels. That may be where you're going to land and stay. If you feel, or if your arms permit, and you have the length, without drawing your shoulder blades off the mat, your shoulders may be off the mat, but not your shoulder blades. You can interlock your fingers around the front of your shin. Try to relax through the neck and head region. Be sure the lower half of that right leg that you're holding on to. Be sure the lower half is relaxed. You're just letting the foot and the ankle and the lower part of your leg just hang out. And you might notice a difference. You may notice a little more opening in one hip than the other. Just take note of that. It's typical for our bodies to be slightly uneven. However, when we notice this, if we practice on our own time, spending a little more time on the side that needs a little more TLC can help bring greater balance, or, a body worker from time to time, and use your classmates and me as a resource if you're looking for help. We actually have somebody with us today who's sourced out relatively free osteopathic work, less expensive massages, because I know these things are expensive, and if we don't have health insurance, but we should all get body work. If you have a body, and you do, it's like a car. It requires maintenance, and going to a professional can really help us maintain the healthiest possible body, and not just a long lifespan, a long health span. That's what we really want. As one prayer goes, may we live as long as we like, and like as long as we live. So now, once again, if you would like to intensify this opening, this stretch in the left hip, then consider pressing your tailbone, and it's just the smallest of movement, towards the floor. And of course, you always, always have permission to modify, come out of a posture before I suggest it. It is your body. You are the only one who knows how it feels, and you need to honor that feeling. Okay, let's cross that top knee right over the other knee. Take your arms out to the side, and let's drop both knees over to the right side. So just a nice stretch here through the hip joint, the ligaments, the tendons, the fascia, especially the IT band. So that's that tight band that runs along the outside of your thighs from your iliac crest, your ilium, your hip, to your tibia, your bone, hence IT band. And on an inhale, come back to center. So this is now where we're going to put some type of support underneath our sacrum. And we're going to imagine that we're putting our legs up against a wall. And if you're practicing at home, by all means, move towards a wall. So you need a firm cushion or a block. And I think most of you know the cushions. There are new cushions available in the chest over there, a little more comfortable than a block. So place it under your sacrum. That's the lower part of your spine, and just lift your legs up in the air. So this encourages the flow of blood to be reversed, draining the blood that can pool in the ankles, whether you're standing or sitting a lot. Takes the pressure off the veins in the legs. The valves open through gravity. It encourages the venous blood, the blood that's been used by the body, to return to the heart center for purification and to be returned through the arteries. So just let your feet be relaxed with your legs up in the air. Your feet do not need to touch one another. In fact, sometimes it's a better idea to keep the polar opposites, the yin and yang, just slightly apart. The right side of the body representing the yang, the masculine, the emissive. The left side of the body representing the feminine, the receptive, spirit. So again, most of this class today is devoted to activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest, the digest, the healing, the restoring, the balancing, the calming, connecting mind and body. Another variation of this particular posture, we're not going to do it, but it's if you really feel burnt out, discombobulated, freaked out, whatever, one of the beautiful things you can do is place something under the sacrum up against perhaps a sofa or a firm chair that you have at home. You can bend your knees and let the lower part of your legs rest on the sofa. You're going to keep this elevation under your hip area. You might elevate your lower part of your arms and your hands. This all helps to bring the blood back to the center of the body, particularly the endocrine glands in the core of your body, so your pancreas, your liver, your spleen. It's very nurturing, healing. But speaking of endocrine glands, you can stay in this posture, but what I am going to ask some of us to now do is just lower your legs to the floor and just feel your knees are bent, your feet are flat on the floor, and just feel what it feels like to have support under the sacral area, still reversing the blood flow back towards the heart and towards the upper chest area, the throat. But if you wish to try, remove whatever it was you had underneath your sacrum. We're going to attempt Sarvangasana, which is shoulder stand. It is the queen posture of asanas. The king is headstand, Shirshasana, but we're going to attempt Sarvangasana. So, keeping your knees bent with your feet flat on the floor, your arms beside your body. You're going to lift your hips up in the air, support your hips, and just let your body, your legs, hang halfway over behind your head. So just let your legs hang over. You're going to feel the stretch in the lower part of your body. And then if you can, drop your knees towards your forehead. Drop your heels towards your bum. Move your hands a little bit higher up your back. And if it feels okay, straighten your legs. Shoulder stand. If you prefer, you can come back down. You can place your block underneath your sacrum again, and you can practice a modified version of this, which I will demonstrate. So that you're lifting up your legs bent, and you can, and if you're a little nervous of being in shoulder stand, if you keep that block or support underneath your sacrum, you can always come back down and find that place of safety. But if you're able to hold the queen posture of asanas, clearly this is reversing the blood flow. 75% of purified blood is now bathing everything above the heart. Your endocrine glands. Your endocrine glands are the glands that deliver hormones. We are hormonal beings. They deliver hormones throughout the body. Your thyroid, your parathyroid, pituitary, thymus gland, hypothalamus. So this is nourishing all of these extremely important glands. Take your legs wide apart and bring them together. Apart, together. Lower the left knee down towards the left ear and back up. Right knee to right ear and back up. Take your legs wide apart. Can you lower them down over behind the back of your head? Let it be organic. No forcing. Wide leg plow pose. Inhale the legs back up. Bring the legs together. Lower them down over behind your head. If you have a block, remove it or cushion and slowly release and come all the way down and out. And slowly lower the legs all the way back down. And just take a moment here. Let's tuck the shoulder blades once again under the heart center. Let's take the feet wide on the mat. Bring your arms beside your body with your palms facing down. We're going to lift up into Matsyasana, fish pose. So, listen carefully. Your palms are facing down, your arms are beside your body, your legs are wide apart. You're going to lift your upper body off the floor, coming up onto your elbows, and your weight, of course, is in the lower half of your body. Gently tilt your head back and let the top of your head rest on the floor. Now, less than 10% of your body weight is on the crown of your head. So this stimulates the thyroid gland. This is the master gland of metabolism. A lot of women have under-functioning thyroids. This is a very positive, helpful posture to activate an underactive thyroid gland. This opens up the chest. This is excellent for reversing the posture of a forward tilted head, rounded shoulders, and rounded upper back, which is what we often find ourselves in when we're looking at our screens. So this counteracts a lot of damage from tech neck, helps to improve the posture of the upper part of your body. And on an inhale, lift your head up, bring your legs back together, and then turn your palms up with your arms far enough away from your body so that you can relax your upper body. Gently roll your head to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, over to the right. And exhale, come back to center with your palms facing up in the open and receiving position. Let's just take a moment to allow the benefits of what we have just performed to be uploaded and integrated. Notice the feeling of calm combined with alert. A calm alertness. Good deep inhaling and deep exhaling. It's helpful sometimes, we won't do it now, but to count. Say 1, 2 on our inhale and attempt to exhale to the count of 4. It's very calming for the body, for the brain, for the mind. Okay, draw the knees up in towards the chest. Now, you can either roll over onto your side, use your top arm to push yourself up, or my favorite is with the hands underneath the backs of the knees, rock up, come on over onto all fours. Curl your toes under and roll back onto the soles of your feet. Let your upper body just hang loose in Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Be sure you're letting your head just hang off your neck. Okay? Give it a little gentle swing, very gentle, gentle. But here we are, reversing the blood supply, allowing the blood now so that everything above the heart is receiving extra blood supply. So that's why inversions can be our best friends. Otherwise, when we're standing up, less than 25% of our blood is getting into our brain region. A lot of areas of the brain shrink as we age. MRI tests and other brain imaging scans are proving that yoga is extremely helpful in reversing that trend, and I will talk about this in a bit. So let's slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time, letting your head be the last thing to come up. And then inhale, shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll them back. Bring your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Smile. Inhale in place. Lift your gaze. Bend your knees. Exhale, forward fold. Leading with your heart center. And then letting your upper body once again hang loose between your thighs. Arms reaching up as much as they can. Then release your arms. Let your head and your arms just hang out, pressing the soles of your feet into the floor, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. Exhale. Okay, half sun salutations. Inhaling in place. Sweep the arms up. Turn the palms out. Exhale, bend your knees. Swan dive onto your thighs. Fingertips tented on the floor. On an inhale, lift your hips up. Let the crown of your head hang. You're straightening your legs as much as you can, and on an exhale, you're bending your knees, drop your hips, shoulders back. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float the arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale, turn the palms out, exhale. Fingertips tented. Inhale, lifting the hips. Exhale, drop the hips, shoulders back, lengthen spine. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float the arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, swan dive onto your thighs, fingertips tented on the floor. Inhale, exhale, inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float the arms down, taking up lots of space. Okay. So although balance poses are challenging sometimes, they're also very calming because we have to focus. We don't think about anything else, no shopping lists, no to-do lists other than balance. So, and because, now we're starting to see naked trees, and there's something beautiful and amazing because there's no two trees alike. Some of them are still clinging to their leaves and we love it, and some of them have completely dropped them. And so in honor of the beautiful trees that we love, enjoy, appreciate, and one day we'll wake up and they'll all be covered in snow, let's practice tree pose. Okay, so you can start on your right foot. I'll do the mirror image. Now, and I remember when I used to teach at the beach rec, for some reason I would say it can be easier on a bare floor. Okay, so if you want to come off your mat, come off your mat. And I couldn't tell you why that is, but whatever's helpful, right? So you're balancing on your right foot first, and you're going to take your time because balance pose is all about waiting for your own inner cue. So feel really rooted and grounded. Come up onto the ball of the other foot. Turn the knee out to the side. All right, but really feel grounded. And remember, focus your gaze somewhere on the floor. So don't look at me. Look at something on the floor ahead of you. Now, you can bring that foot inside. You can also bring the foot and just balance on the leg, but keep the foot near the ankle, whatever you prefer. You can also pick the leg up. And if your pants are slippery, it's really tough to hold the foot there. So I'm going to hold it with my hand. The one place you don't want to press is against your knee. And you know what? If it's not working for you high up, please don't challenge yourself and stress yourself out. Just try here. Maybe it'll be better on the other side. Let's see. We don't know. And even if you want to stand and you want to hold something, feel free. Okay, so take your time. Wait for your own inner cue for balanced poses. And breathe. And you know what? If tree pose isn't working for you and you just want to stand and be a flamenco, go for it. Lots of little stabilizing muscles, working in balanced posture. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, remember, if we don't challenge ourselves, we never kind of grow and you know what? Next time you try it, it might be good. Doesn't matter, trust me. Das macht nichts in Deutsch. Okay, turn sideways on your mat, please. Spread your feet apart and turn your toes out. So let's have a good amount of space, maybe, 2.5, 3 feet. Take your arms out to the side, shoulder height. We're all stars. New moon last night, beautiful planet showing in the sky. All right, hinge from the tops of your legs, halfway over, fingertips tented on the floor below your face. Inhale, let's sweep the left arm up, reaching up, stretching up, maybe even looking up. Holding here for a moment. Exhale, float that arm down. Inhale, sweep the other arm up, reaching up, stretching up. Nice twist for your spine. Exhale, float it down. Let's lunge over to the left, bringing your bum as close to your heels as possible. Inhaling up and over to the other side. Breathing, exhaling out. One more breath in, coming back up. Let's take the left hand over to the right foot. Left hand over to right foot. Inhale, sweep the arms up. A twisted inversion. And bring that hand down. Walk your hands over towards the other foot. Placing now the right hand on the left foot. Inhale the other arm up, reaching up, stretching up. Letting your head hang. And back to the center. Walk your feet in towards one another. And bring your body into the final posture, Shavasana. If you want, cover your eyes with something. So iPads are over on the table. If you're practicing at home, a piece of clothing, anything at all can be helpful to once again allow the body to come into what is considered in yoga one of the most important asanas. So when you're able, eyes are closed, separate the biting surfaces of the teeth, relax the jaw, let your entire body be soft and heavy. A thicker cerebral cortex. One of the things that shrinks with age This area is responsible for processing information. Your hippocampus is another area that typically shrinks with age, and it's responsible for learning and memory. The amygdala, the size of it also is increased from doing yoga. Now, these are from studies in the Scientific Journal of Brain Plasticity or Neuroplasticity. I mean, in the past 10 or 20 years, these studies are being done more frequently because of the aging population, trying to figure out how can we keep people not just with a longer lifespan, a longer health span. So an increased size of the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for planning, decision-making, multitasking. This has been shown from people doing yoga on a regular basis. Increased levels of dopamine, oxytocin. Oxytocin we get from hugging people. Serotonin. Serotonin is one of those hormones that actually is important. Most of it's produced in the digestive area. So this was the focus of last week's class. So this is increased through yoga. So this is the trio of feel-good hormones: joy, bonding, energy, satisfaction. So there are just a plethora of reasons why this ancient science, coming from a tradition that is over 5,000 years old, remains popular and can truly deliver on every level to improve our satisfaction of having a human life and body. It won't last forever. Nothing can stop the aging process, but there are ways to slow it down. Inhaling the life force, long, full, and deep, with your belly rising, and deep exhaling. Long, full, deep inhaling, and deep exhaling. Inhaling very, very deep, and let it all go. Inhale, stretch your arms over behind your heads, reach and stretch, point feet far, flex and point, and drop your arms down by your side. Take your time to roll over onto your sides whenever you're ready, bending your knees, maybe using your bottom arm as a pillow. And again, acknowledge yourself for coming out to a yoga practice or practicing at home. It takes discipline. I know we all have a long list of things to do, but at the top of that list every day should be taking care of and feeling gratitude for much that we have to be grateful for, including a functioning body and mind. And when you're ready, press yourselves back up into a seated posture. Yesterday, I was with Father Terry from the Scarborough Missions. We went to a fabulous place called Indian Ground. I will perhaps put something in an email about it. It's worth a visit. It's in Scarborough. And we chanted Om together over and over and over. Felt great. So let's just chant Om together one time if you like. Inhaling together. Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace to you, peace to me, and peace to the entire world. Namaste.